why Fabio Vieira should start ahead of Kai Havertz for Arteta's Arsenal. Today we're going to look at the tactics and the reasons why Kai Havertz at the moment needs to be put on the bench and start Fabio Vieira in midfield. Vieira adds not only creativity, but different angles with his passing. Vieira is very much a left-footed player in the final third that will utilise his ability to get balls into the box on the outside of defenders. And at the moment, that's going to be a bigger asset than what we see from Kai Havertz. Arsenal's setup at the start of the season hasn't been too great. We're not seeing them at their fluid best. What Arteta's been doing is playing Thomas Partey as an inverted right-back, moving into midfield with Declan Rice. The back three is made up of Kivor, William Saliba and Ben White. And again, the front three looks pretty normal of what we expect with Kai Havertz operating in the inside left channel. I like the idea of what Arteta wants to do. He wants to have a different tactical setup that's not going to be so geared on Zinchenko. I think this is good for a work in progress, but at the moment I feel like Arsenal have got to revert back to what they were doing well last season. I think that starts with Gabriel coming back into the team. Gabriel played 75 consecutive games in the Premier League for Arsenal, and he's only just behind Saka in that stat of consecutive starts. But at the start of this season, Arteta has dropped Gabriel. There's rumours that he wants to sell him. But I think for the moment, Arsenal look a lot better with Gabriel back in the side and Zinchenko at left back. We saw those two changes in the Premier League game against Fulham at the weekend, and Arsenal instantly improved their attacking play. They instantly improved how they were opening up Fulham, and that's something that we need to start to see from the start. I think one of the issues, again mentioned previously, the balance isn't quite right on the right-hand side. Thomas Partey's inversion exposed Arsenal on the counter-attack. In terms of him driving inside, takes up that narrow position, and the spacing isn't quite right. Whereas Ben White will have a lot more width when he's attacking from that right-back position, and defensively is a lot better 1v1. This would allow Arsenal to still have a double pivot, but revert back to what we previously saw. From a tactical perspective, it would simply move round. Obviously, Zinchenko comes in from left back. Gabriel moves back to left centre back. Zinchenko inverts. Ben White can play a lot higher up the pitch and utilise that triangle. I keep talking about the triangle, but this is one of my favourite things about Arsenal. The Saka, Odegaard, Ben White triangle. I think when you look at Odegaard's form as well at the start of the season, it's dropped off a little bit. And I do think not having that extra ball player on the right-hand side has been a reason. Not only that, it means that Declan Rice starts a little bit more right-sided, so the big switches of play out to the left-hand side become a lot more devastating. Zinchenko inverting, joining him in defensive midfield, but also Fabio Vieira. I think for Fabio Vieira right now, Arsenal need a little bit of creativity in the final third. Havertz is a great player moving off the ball, picking up lovely areas of space, and then utilising underlaps. But I think Fabio Vieira brings a lot of those things and more. Defensively, he's a lot more aware, which I think is something that Granit Xhaka and his role last season didn't get enough plaudits for. Xhaka was great defensively, but also very good offensively. Fabio Vieira is more of a central midfielder than Kai Havertz. Havertz is more of an attacker. Again, in certain games, I think Havertz will be good, but I think he just needs a little bit of time to adapt to the Mikel Arteta way of playing, the ability to rotate and so forth. And I think that's something that Vieira has done. It's taken him a year to settle. There were spells last season where I thought Vieira had to get into the first team, and there were some brilliant performances in the Europa League where I thought now it's time for Arsenal to unleash this weapon at the second half of the season. But they didn't do that, and I thought that was a little bit frustrating from my perspective. Vieira is a top quality footballer in terms of his chances created for Arsenal per 90. He's on 2.1 with only Odegaard managing more chances per 90. But it also gives you a bit of a better forward line in the sense of you've got the dribblers in Saka and Martinelli. You've either got Trossard's false nine play or Jesus' false nine play. Odegaard's ability to arrive in the box. And now, with Fabio Vieira in the team, you've got a true creator. Vieira won the penalty with a great burst, into the box, but also created the second goal with an absolutely wicked delivery to Eddie Nketiah. And I just feel like with him in the side, with Zinchenko inverting, we'll start to see the quality of Arsenal. But also, the Zinchenko inversion means that Ben White is a lot higher up the pitch, and he's a better weapon for Arsenal in that final third. So let's take a look at just a few moments. Again, the changes came on 56 minutes. Zinchenko on for Partey and Vieira on for Havertz. Then as we're going going to talk a lot about the impact of Vieira, but Zinchenko's ability to just control the play, completed 94% of his passes, 2 chances created as well. It's just simply Zinchenko is a lot better inverted fullback than Thomas Partey. You're obviously going to get that with Partey being a midfielder that's been converted to there, but Zinchenko has just got the role an absolute lock, one of the best in the world in that position. But I think the big thing with Ben White is, as I mentioned previously, he was part of that back three with Partey in the team, not really utilising the attacking element. We can see with this heat map versus the heat map from last week that we looked at, there's a lot more play in the final third, and that came at the, in the second half of the game. So we picked the ball up with Declan Rice in midfield. We can already see that Ben White is in the final third. Look at the minutes, 57 minutes. The change has just been made, and we're already seeing that impact. The big thing with Arsenal is it allows players like Odegaard to play more narrow. It allows Saka to play narrow. But also Ben White, he's got real quality in possession. Receives the ball to feet from Declan Rice, and instantly we're seeing the triangle. Odegaard drifting over, the triangle in close proximity. Previous to this point in the game, Ben White would be in a far deeper position, probably off the screen. You're looking to be just a basic ball playing option. Here, he can contribute in the final third. This consequently draws the Fulham players over and creates a little bit of space for Odegaard to receive possession. But also you've got the movement of, Declan Rice, knowing that there's players that can cover him. You've got good support play from Kivor, in a really advanced centre-back position. Again, Arsenal playing with a super high line. But Rice can be seen to make those underlaps with the triangle now created. Previously, Rice would be involved in the triangle and nobody would be underlapping with Ben White being in deeper position. Also to note, Zinchenko's inversion. He's going to cover Declan Rice's position. Rice will push forward. Zinchenko will overlap. The balance is just so much better. But obviously for this move, it's a simple one. Saka's received to feet. He's drawn the Fulham attackers over. Creates a little bit of space for Odegaard, who checks inside and gets a shot on goal. We didn't see that enough in the first half for Arsenal. Odegaard wasn't really involved. And instantly you can see with Ben White's wide play opens up a lot of opportunities. Obviously Zinchenko's bottom of shot, demanding the ball in a really good ball playing position. Arsenal's attack at the moment made up of Declan Rice, Saka, Nketiah, Vieira and Martinelli. Really good balance, much better balance than what we saw before. So just another moment, again utilising Ben White. We've had rotation. That's a big key thing with Arsenal as well, with Ben White in this position. Saka can drop deep. Ben White can provide that, the width and the depth and the, threat in behind the defence. It's going to make Arsenal far more unpredictable. Ben White spins in behind. Brilliant pass from Saliba to find him. Simple underlap from Odegaard. Again, you've got problems. Everyone's going to be sort of fixated on Saka, and Ben White's going to be able to sneak in. You can see with the left back from Fulham, he's looking at the ball. He's not looking at his opponent, which is Ben White, not Saka. The underlap's there. Simply Paulinho gets beat again. Little 1v1 skill from Odegaard, and he blazes the ball over the bar. But we're already starting to see decent football from Arsenal. And that kind of continued, but now Fabio Vieira comes into the limelight. But as we mentioned previously, the right-hand triangle is going to draw bodies over. We could see that Fulham have stacked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players on that kind of left-hand side of their shape to deal with just Ben White, Odegaard and Saka. Declan Rice sees this opportunity. One of the big reasons why Arsenal signed Declan Rice is his passing range. The top 1% of midfielders in European football for switches of play last season. This is a fantastic switch out to Martinelli. The first touch is brilliant. You can instantly see the impact of Fabio Vieira now in the inside channel. Little ball, little running behind the defence. The Fulham defender dives in Tete, and Arsenal win a penalty. But that all comes from the positional sense of Fabio Vieira, the intelligence to run in behind, really good switch of play. But the right-hand side drawing the opponents over. We didn't see that when it was just Odegaard and just Saka in this match. So moving forward to the even better bit of play from Fabio Vieira, I think this is another key reason. What I like about him is he takes up these wide positions really well, naturally left-footed, so it's going to open up some crossing and passing angles. We see this for this move right now. Number one, receiving into feet off Zinchenko after a little carry. From this position, there's a lot of dangerous runners in behind the defence. We can see Saka and Martinelli making those runs behind. A brilliant ball with his left foot. Again, naturally going to be a good pass for him to play. Down the line on his left foot. Saka's in behind. A slightly poor touch from Saka and the keeper gobbles it up. In terms of the next phase, this is where I feel like Vieira is an upgrade of Kai Havertz right now from a defensive situation. The ball is cleared from Bernd Leno, and instantly Fabio Vieira wins a brilliant tackle high up the pitch. Odegaard recovers possession and drives through. The ball's retained through Saka, then work back out. This instantly is something that you get from Fabio Vieira. He has a brilliant ability to have vision. Heads up football. He's looking exactly where Nketiah wants it, drives a great ball into the box, and then Nketiah applies the finish. But it's really intelligent play, but also shows the determination of Fabio Vieira to win the ball back in a really, really big challenge. And overall, I think for the short term, I think having Zinchenko back into the starting 11, having Fabio Vieira start, who was absolutely fantastic, 1 assist, completed 100% of his 16 passes in the game, won a penalty, was just absolutely dominant. I really want to see him more because this lad has talent. I've seen enough of this guy to know that he's got talent. His last season in Portugal, his statistics were fantastic. 14 assists and 6 goals from just around 1,300 minutes. The creativity is absolutely there. Arsenal need to integrate him into the team for Kai Havertz right now as soon as possible to get the best out of the Arsenal offense. Zinchenko needs to come back in. It's really, really simple for Arteta, but he's got to do it. Kai Havertz can adapt, a little bit slower, a little bit more on the bench, maybe picking up some of the wide attacking positions or even as a false 9, and then potentially back end of the season utilising him as a free 8. But he needs to get the system and impact the game a lot more for Arsenal. I believe he can do it, but right now it's time for Fabio Vieira to shine. This has been the Premier League review, guys. If you are new around here, make sure you smash that subscribe button and get into the comments below who you'd start for Arsenal. I've been Statman Dave. Like the video. We'll see you soon.